Breaking all new right now, a double homicide investigation in Fort Myers. 2 people are dead this morning.
Yeah, this is located at the Gulfstream Isles apartment complex on Red Cedar Drive, which is off Summerlin Road and Boy Scout Drive. So it's right there on the corner if you're familiar. NBC2's Kelly Creswell working to gather new information for us. Kelly, what do you know?
Well, Clay, I just spoke with police. They did tell me they have confirmed 2 people are dead this morning, and police right now are working to notify their family members. You can see, though, that this is still a very active crime scene investigation. We do know that around 3:57 this morning, a call came into police about several shots being fired at 3257 Red Cedar Drive. Now, when police got on scene, they found 2 people who were dead inside a car that was parked inside this parking lot. Now, police are telling us right now they believe this was a targeted incident and this was not something random. However, right now they are telling us suspects still on the loose this morning. Police have been knocking on doors, trying to talk to witnesses, anyone who could tell them more information. Right now, we do not have any description of the suspects. We're continuing to work this scene and count on us to bring you any new information as soon as it becomes available. Reporting live in Fort Myers this morning, Kelly Creswell, NBC2.
Breaking all new right now, a double homicide investigation in Fort Myers.
Yeah, if you're just waking up right now, just joining us, this has been the scene for about an hour and a half now. NBC2's Kelly Creswell is on the scene right now at Gulfstream Isles apartment complex on Red Cedar Drive with the latest. Kelly?
Well, Clay, I can tell you a lot of police presence here. More officers keep pouring in here. There's got to be about a dozen Fort Myers police cars here on scene for this double homicide investigation, and it's still a very active investigation. As you can see, officers on scene, they've been trying to knock on doors, talk to witnesses to find out exactly what happened this morning. Take a look at this video. When we arrived on scene, police got a call around 3:57 this morning for several shots fired at 3257 Red Cedar Drive. Now, when police got on scene, they found 2 people who were shot dead inside a car that was parked in the parking lot here. Police telling us this morning they believe that these people were targeted, that this was not a random incident. However, at this time, the suspects still on the loose this morning, and police have not been able to provide us with a description of the suspects. Police are still working to notify the next of kin for the 2 people who were shot dead here at this scene. Now, I asked police if this had anything to do with the shooting that happened on Friday at the intersection of Colonial and Veronica Shoemaker, where one person was shot dead and another was injured. They say because they don't know a lot of details yet in this case this morning, they don't know the victim's name, so they can't rule out, they can't say whether these 2 are related or not. It's way too early in this investigation, but count on us to pass along any new information as soon as we get it. Reporting live in Fort Myers this morning, Kelly Creswell, NBC2.
All right, Kelly, thank you for the update. We'll get back to you shortly.
Right now, breaking news out of Fort Myers this morning where 2 people have been found dead.
A crime scene vehicle has just arrived on this scene. NBC2's Kelly Creswell is on scene at Gulfstream Isles apartment complex on Red Cedar Drive. And Kelly, you've been there for the better part of 2 hours. I understand you have just spoken with Fort Myers police. What have you learned?
Clay, I just learned that there was a 3-year-old child in the back seat of the car where 2 people were found dead inside this morning. That child, though, found unharmed and taken to Health Park this morning. But again, this is still a very active crime scene investigation. You can still see investigators still on scene. They're trying to knock on doors, talk to witnesses, although this happened very early in the morning, so not many people to talk to right now. But take a look at this video of the scene when we arrived here a little bit earlier. Now, the call originally came in at 3:57 this morning for several shots fired at 3257 Red Cedar Drive. When police got on scene, they found 2 people dead inside the car that was parked inside the parking lot here. And again, as I mentioned, a 3-year-old child in the back seat. Do want to mention, though, that child found unharmed and taken to Health Park. Police telling us right now they believe that these people were targeted. This was not a random incident. At this time, though, the suspects still on the loose. Police not able to provide us with any description of suspects at this time. We're continuing to work this scene, and as soon as we find out more information, count on us to pass that along. Reporting live in Fort Myers this morning, Kelly Creswell, NBC2.
Breaking all new right now at 6:30, a double homicide investigation in Fort Myers.
And right now, authorities are looking for a suspect in the area around Gulfstream Isles apartment complex on Red Cedar Drive. Let's show you a map of what we're talking about. That's where NBC2's Kelly Creswell has been on scene all new this morning. And Kelly, you know, if our viewers are waking up this morning, it's a large apartment complex, a heavily populated area. Any concern for residents living in that area this morning?
Well, police are telling us they believe that this was not random, that these victims were targeted, and I'm actually seeing a lot of people who live in this apartment complex start to come outside now just to see exactly what's going on, and police have been knocking on people's doors trying to talk to witnesses and see just exactly what happened. Take a look from our mass camera, though. We're going to show you how wide of a crime scene this is. Police have the entrances to this apartment complex blocked off as they continue this investigation. Here's what we do know. Take a look at our video of what happened earlier this morning. Police are telling us they got a call at 3:57 this morning for several shots fired at 3257 Red Cedar Drive. Now, they found 2 people dead in a car. They also found a 3-year-old child in the back seat. That child, though, was unharmed and taken to Health Park. Now, this all comes on the heels of a fatal shooting that happened just a few days ago at Colonial and Veronica Shoemaker in this city. And while it's too early to tell if these shootings are related, this is the 11th and 12th homicide for the city.
It is difficult. Obviously, it's something we want to have our finger on, and we don't have an answer right now, and that's very frustrating for us.
And right now, police are telling us suspects still on the loose. We don't know if there's one suspect or there's multiple suspects. We don't have any descriptions for those suspects either. We can tell you that while police are still working this scene, they're also working to notify family members of the 2 victims in this investigation. Reporting live in Fort Myers this morning, Kelly Creswell, NBC2.
NBC2's Kelly Creswell has been following this one all morning. And Kelly, once again, amazing this child survived.
It is incredible because we just got a glimpse of that car where 2 victims were found dead inside and that 3-year-old child sitting in the back seat unharmed. And it really is amazing that that child was not hurt, because take a look at this video of the car that was just towed away from the scene just a short time ago. This is the car that the child was sitting in. There are dozens of bullet holes in this car. The child was in the back seat unharmed, but the 2 people in the front died from multiple gunshot wounds. Now, this all happened around 4 o'clock this morning in the parking lot here at Gulfstream Isles apartment complex. The 2 victims didn't live here, but they were visiting someone who did. This is the 11th and 12th homicide investigation for the city of Fort Myers this year, and while it comes on the heels of Friday's fatal shooting, investigators say right now there's no indication this is related to any other case in the city.
12's too many. We would love to get a handle on this. We would love to solve every case that we have as far as, who's getting killed and who's doing it. Unfortunately, we run up against some roadblocks here, and we'll try and do our best that we can to push through the roadblocks and solve the cases and bring some closure to the families.
Now, the scene is clear here at the apartment complex. Investigators weren't able to talk to many witnesses just simply because it happened so early in the morning and not many people were awake when this happened. Police have not released any description of suspects, and right now we still don't know the identities of the 2 victims. Police are still in the process of notifying family members. Reporting live in Fort Myers, Kelly Creswell, NBC2.
Yeah, some tough news this morning. NBC2 is on top of breaking news in Fort Myers this afternoon. 2 people were shot and killed early this morning. This happened at Gulfstream Isles in Summerlin and Boy Scouts.
Yeah, take a look at your screen. Amazingly, a 3-year-old in the back seat survives these gunshots. NBC2's Kelly Creswell is there right now. She's been there all morning long. Kelly, this actually makes 3 murders in Fort Myers this week, and I understand you have some brand new information for us.
Yeah, Nick, police just released the names of the 2 victims who died in the shooting this morning. They are 23-year-old Jarrett Bird of Fort Myers and 16-year-old Sharia Owens of Lehigh Acres. And amazingly, somehow 3-year-old Alicia Owens slept through the whole thing and was unharmed.
I honestly feel like God had his arms wrapped around that baby, because anybody who's seen that car would have automatically thought that baby was dead.
It's hard to believe a 3-year-old child sat unharmed in the backseat of this bullet-riddled car. But the 2 victims in the front weren't as lucky. Police say they died from multiple gunshot wounds. It happened in the parking lot of the Gulfstream Isles apartment complex at 4 o'clock this morning.
I heard consistent gunshots. I thought it were fireworks at first, but I figured it was too loud. It was too close to the house.
Unfortunately, at the time that it happened, everybody was asleep. So, we knocked on doors. We've been talking to people, and nobody really has seen anything.
Investigators say the 2 victims were visiting someone who lived here, but after hours of scouring the scene, there were very few witnesses.
We always have good evidence. Unfortunately, the evidence doesn't always lead back to the person that you want to find that did the crime.
While this comes on the heels of Friday's fatal shooting, investigators say right now there is no indication that this is related to any other case in the city.
12's too many. We would love to get a handle on this. We would love to solve every case that we have as far as, who's getting killed and who's doing it. Unfortunately, we run up against some roadblocks here, and we'll try and do our best that we can to push through the roadblocks and solve the cases and bring some closure to the families.
And this is the 11th and 12th homicide investigation so far this year for the city of Fort Myers, and police right now have still not released a description of the suspects. Reporting live in Fort Myers this afternoon, Kelly Creswell, NBC2.